Sun is shining in Hammond Stadium in Fort Myers this morning. And on the Minnesota Twins, we're set to introduce the newest member of their ball club, Lance Lynn, in a spring that's produced an impressive infusion of talent. Inside Mall of America studio, welcome to Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink, alongside Twins All-Star Tim Laudner. I'm Tom Hanneman. Great to have you with us. A year after the Twins' remarkable 26-win turnaround, the team has had an impressive spring. Not necessarily on the field, but what they have done in adding to their ball club. 6 additions, important additions, encouraging additions for this ball club. And today they're set to introduce the latest member, Lance Lynn, an important part of the starting rotation already.
This is a big deal for the Minnesota Twins, the signing today of Lance Lynn from the St. Louis Cardinals. This sends a message to the rest of the guys on the team that we want to improve this ball club. Derek Falvey and Thad Levine doing a very good job in the offseason of trying to find some guys that fit, some pieces to the puzzle, some ways to get this club from being a wild card team to maybe being a division champion so that they can play deeper into the postseason. This is a big deal. Lance Lynn is a good, solid pitcher. He's a winning pitcher. He has a winning record for the St. Louis Cardinals. He's a really nice addition to this starting staff for the Minnesota Twins.
An all-star in 2012 with the Cardinals, an 18-7 record that year. To say Lance Lynn is a big addition, well, it's an understatement. 6'5", 275 pounds, a first-round pick of the Cardinals in 2008. Part of the World Series championship team in 2011, as mentioned, the All-Star in 2012. Twins starting rotation with 2 new arms, Jake Odorizzi joining the team as well.
When you take a look at Lance Lynn and this signing today and some of the numbers that he brings to this starting rotation for the Twins, they're pretty impressive. Again, we talked about the fact that he's a winner, 72-47 record. But the thing that probably stands out is when you give him the baseball, he goes out to the mound and he makes all his starts. And so this is a guy that the position players, when they come to the ballpark, they're going to know that they're going to get a really, really good effort from their starting pitcher, find a way to scratch out a few runs, and get this guy a win.
Twins are ready to introduce Lance Lynn, their newest member in Fort Myers. We head there right now.
So we're here today certainly to announce something that's particularly exciting for the Minnesota Twins, the signing here of Lance Lynn as part of our organization. We'll talk at the front end here and thank some people. Most notably Jim Pohlad and the Pohlad family for their investment in this club and in Lance as part of the Minnesota Twins for this season. And I'd also like to take a moment to thank both Thad Levine, our general manager, and Bobby Baird, Lance's representatives, for working diligently through this negotiation. We set out, we said this all offseason, that we set out to build a team that has a chance to continue to compete and contend and to take steps forward as an organization. And that's something that early on in the offseason we feel we had a real opportunity to do. And throughout the course of spring training and the unique offseason this has been, to continue to engage in potential opportunities to impact our club. We've been looking for talent, impact, and experience as part of that. And I think capping this free agent offseason for us with Lance Lynn was a real incredible opportunity for our team to build going into this season. Lance is somebody who we know fits our clubhouse, fits our dynamic among our team. When you talk about a competitor and the makeup, every time he takes the ball on the mound, this is somebody who's going to help lead our pitching staff and all of our young players, given his experience and who he is as a player. So with that, I'll turn this over for Lance to say a few comments, but we're excited about the 2018 season for the Minnesota Twins, and we're excited to have Lance a part of our family now.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to pitching. That's what I like to do, and I like to compete. And you know, a couple of these guys in the clubhouse, and I've heard good things. So I'm looking forward to the upcoming year and trying to win ball games. That's pretty much all I'm about.
We're going to open up the questions at this point with that voice.
Lance, Cardinal for life. Is this strange?
Well, it's different to put another uniform on, obviously, because I've been with St. Louis since I was drafted. But it's a new opportunity to, to show what I can do in a new league and all that. So I'm definitely looking forward to it, and just excited for a chance to play for a team that's got a good chance to win.
Lance, opening day is only about 2 weeks away. What have you been kind of doing to stay ready here for the season?
I've been throwing live BPs and sim games on my own, trying to give it as much intensity as possible to be ready to when I step in, I could go right into games and try to get ready as fast as possible for the season. So I feel like I've done that, and looking forward to today and actually being in a live game with fans in the stands and not at high school fields.
Who's kind of been your pitching coach through these last few weeks?
I know, I've been in the big leagues for 7 years. I kind of know what it takes for me to get ready. But I have some eyes on me to make sure that everything's going well. And training at Cressy Sports Performance in Jupiter, they were making sure I was getting everything I needed so I could step right in and be ready to compete.
How many pitches are you up to at this point in your profession?
I'm going 3 for 50 today, so we'll get right after it.
Lance, what was it like for you to kind of wait out the market and find the right fit here? And by any chance, do you have a chip on your shoulder for having to wait so long before you found a home?
The chip on the shoulder's been there since I was born. I'm pretty sure that's the way my dad says it. So that's not changing. This market hasn't changed that. That's something I use to compete, and it helps drive me. With the market, I've never been through it before, so I didn't know how it was going to go. It could go slow or it could go fast. It went pretty slow this year, and that's how it goes sometimes. I guess maybe this year more than ever before, but when it's all said and done, I get a chance to play in the big leagues and a chance to compete and help teams win, so that's all I care about.
Zach Duke said that you even became a switch hitter last year because you were frustrated and you like to compete to that level, and that you're determined to throw 200 innings and all those things, and he just described you as the ultimate competitor in Bulldog.
Yeah, when it's all said and done, at the end of the season, if you have more wins than anyone in your division, you make the playoffs, and that's all that matters. So whenever it's my turn to take the ball, if we beat the other team, then I did my job, and that's all that matters.
How big a risk do you think you're taking by taking a one-year contract and trying it again next year?
I don't think I'm taking a risk at all. I get a chance to play in the big leagues against the best players in the world, and whether it's 1 year or multiple years, you still got to do your job. If I do what I've done my whole career, I'll be fine, and if I don't, then I didn't deserve anything that goes beyond this year anyways.
Why Minnesota?
I grew up in Indiana. I like the cold.
That's a different role.
Lance, you still put up good numbers last year, but what were some of the challenges coming back from Tommy John, and do you feel like you're going to have better command maybe in the second year back?
That's what they tell me. With talking to guys who've had the surgery and the first year back and second year back. First year back is trying to figure out what you have and how to go about it, and then the ability to be ready the next 5 days and try to get back into a full swing of a season. Because you take a full year off, you got to get back in the flow of things. I think as the season went on, I felt more comfortable, and then there were some things that when you take a year off, you forget, and you got to get back to, say, your routine or how you go about things. And as the season went on, I was able to get those things fine-tuned, and then this off-season, I was able to have my full normal off-season ready to do what I needed to do. So I'm looking forward to that.
Paul, you now have a veteran rotation all of a sudden. When you look at it, relief pitchers, and what do you look for from top rotation guys?
Well, it's been remarkable, really. The goals that were set at the end of last season about trying to find ways to supplement pitching, and between Derek and Thad's efforts and the Polat commitment, we've made significant changes. And certainly depth of rotation was a goal. We've been able to do that with flying colors. I think, adding Jake and now Lance here over the past month, it just really stretches out our rotation. It makes us even more competitive on a day-to-day basis. Everything about Lance that we've heard, we just are really looking forward to see him doing in the Minnesota Twins uniform. But it certainly makes us stronger from top to bottom as we're going to open the season with the rotation.
Lance, how many offers did you have to choose from here at the end, and how many of them were multi-year?
When it's all said and done, that doesn't matter. I'm here, and this is where I want to be, and I'm here for 1 year, and we'll see how it goes. Maybe I can be here for longer.
It's been reported that you had multiple years and more dollars, and you left that on the table for this and to build on Phil's. Is it the idea that having been to 2 World Series, you see a chance to do that again in 2018?
When I looked at the offseason, I wanted to go somewhere where they had a chance to win no matter what. and this was definitely a place that presented itself, especially as the offseason went on. And I know some of the guys in the clubhouse, and got to know the front office, with a lot of talks and stuff like that. So it seemed like a perfect fit, and I'm looking forward to going and doing what I have to do, and that's taking the ball when it's my turn.
Paul, from what you know about Lance, what do you hope you can bring to the staff, the team, the clubhouse?
Well, you don't really expect people to change because of an additional teammate. I just think that anytime we have young players, young pitchers that have a chance to watch people that have established resumes and track records, I think there's a certain grittiness to the way Lance goes about his job that hopefully will permeate its way through our clubhouse to some degree. But it's just another, high-end piece for us. And, as a manager, when you get these types of news, it's really exciting. So I just think he's going to be who he is. We're not going to ask him to change. We like what he's done. And looking forward to watching him pitch today, right out of the chute. So that should be great.
Lance, sort of the captain of the Twins is a Mississippi boy, Dozier, and you're an Ole Miss guy. You guys can talk some catfishing.
Yeah, growing up in Indiana, I didn't do much catfishing. So, but yeah, I played against him, I think, 3 years in college, and I've seen him play and have success at the big league. So I'm looking forward to, being on his team and watching him do his thing, in person.
Who got who more in college?
I'm trying to think. So we usually played Southern Miss in midweeks. I usually pitched on the weekends in SEC play. So
there's the first answer. Good answer.
Have you watched many Buxton highlights late that night on ESPN?
You can't miss them. It seems to be one every day. It seemed. Hopefully, I don't have to make him run and rob something. But if he does, I'll be more than happy to him bring it back and have a highlight reel. So, yeah, he's a great center fielder and starting to come into his own as a young player. So I'm looking forward to having him roam in the outfield for me.
Lance, you've made 33 starts the year after Tommy John surgery. How much different do you feel this spring physically than you did last year coming back after a year off?
Can I let you know after tomorrow or after today? No, I physically feel great, and I don't feel like I have to worry. Going into spring training, it wasn't a worry. It was like, all right, let's see how this feels, actually getting back into the rotation and 5-day rotation, and getting ready for the next start. So last year I got through that as the season went on, so I don't have those worries anymore. I can just go do what I have to do, and I know what I need to do in between starts to get ready for the next one.
Hey Lance, coming out of the Cardinal organization, you had Carpenter, you had Wainwright, you had Lackey. Those guys kind of your mentors, were they not?
Yeah, I had a good group of, I guess, elderly pitchers that I'm probably going to get a text from somebody. And even Jake Westbrook and Kyle Loesch. My first year I had, and then Lackey came as we went on. And it's good to have, because I always had the fire competitiveness. Sometimes it got a little out of control, because I just like to win, and I don't know. But they helped me kind of bring that in and harness it to what I've become today. And I think every one of them brought a little bit to me where I could take a little bit from them and become the pitcher I am now and the person.
Derek, very important question. How much did it weigh into your decision, the fact that he has the same last name as your hometown?
It's funny. I got some texts from people back home that said maybe there'll be some Lynn Twins jerseys. But, his reputation speaks for itself. He talked to his teammates. People have been around him before. He said it a few times now. I think he's as competitive as anyone on the mound. So that ultimately, along with the talent that he brings to our club, was what sunk in for us.
How big was hearing from Logan Morrison about his brief time here so far?
Well, you guys know Logan briefly, but it's hard not to hear him. He's great for a lot of different things, but he tells you the truth. And when it came down to choosing at the end, I got his opinion and Zach Duke, and I've known Zach for over 2 years now. So both of them I think highly of as people and players. So it was a pretty easy choice after I got their input.
Do you look forward to the American League? I mean, do pitchers think about that much anymore?
Well, I mean, my career batting average is like .060, so I'm looking forward not to getting out every time I take a bat. But it's going to be different. I'm looking forward to the new challenges of, you're not going to have a pitcher in the lineup You have new players, new cities. I've never pitched in Minnesota as a big leaguer, so I'm looking forward to that. And there's going to be a whole new book on every player, so I just got to get to work and get my work in, and also start doing my homework on hitters and figure out each league or each hitter, each ballpark, different lineups, things like that.
Derek or Paul, whoever wants to answer, did getting Lance and knowing he's here have something to do with your roster moves today, where you know, you got to bring up a bunch of pitchers, the young guys?
Yeah, you know, there's the equation changes obviously with when you make additions, and it has a trickle-down effect on people. And the moves today made a lot of sense even without the addition of Lance to some degree, but you know, you put all those things together when you make those kind of choices.
One more. Thank you everybody for coming. Let's welcome Lance to the Twins territory.
All right,
there you go. All right.
Lance Lynn, a no-nonsense pitcher with a sense of humor, certainly showed that. Talking about growing up in Indiana, I love the cold. He'll fit right in Minnesota. He's been called a workhorse, a bulldog. You get that sense from his first news conference.
And the other thing that stands out, Tom, is the fact that this guy's a professional. He's been around the league. He's got 7 years in the league already. Took a year off with the Tommy John surgery. Came back last year, made 33 starts. This is a guy that knows what he's doing. He knows how to be a professional. He knows how to pitch. This guy's going to fit very nicely into the Twins rotation when you take a look at his career record and the number of times that he's been given the baseball and he's responded by making 33, 33, 31 starts in 2015. Again, the entire year off in 2016 to come back last year to make 33 starts. That's huge. When you first start off, when you have had surgery, and I've never had that surgery, Tom, but when they go in there and they take part of your elbow and move it around and reattach ligaments, when you first go back out onto the mound, there has to be some trepidation about whether this elbow is going to hold up or not. And for that young man to go out and put that in the back of his mind or to forget about it and make 33 starts for the St. Louis Cardinals last year, that's huge. This young man's going to be a really nice addition to this Twins starting rotation.
Lance Lynn has averaged 32 starts and 197 innings pitched over the last 4 years that he has been on the mound. Impressive numbers. What does he do best on the mound? Give us a scouting report for a guy that loves to throw the fastball.
Well, this is like a catcher's dream come true. When you take a look at his pitch breakdown, well, there it is. He likes to throw that number one. And so for Jason Castro to sit behind the plate and throw that number one down and let this guy go to work, inside, outside, up, down, changing eye levels, this is a dream. He's not going to sit back and get strike one and then start messing around with his cutter, curveball, or changeup. He's going to continue to come right after you. This is what you love to see from a pitcher, somebody that's going to attack. And this also, from the information that I've been getting, fits right in with Garvin Alston's philosophy as the new pitching coaches. They want to make sure that everybody in the rotation, everybody in the bullpen reestablishes their best pitch, and that's the fastball. So you watch this young man pitch. He knows already that the fastball is his best pitch, and that's what he's going to feature. That's when he's going to come right at the hitters with. Is that going to have a carryover effect to the rest of the guys in the rotation and even the bullpen? Is that going to be something that Garvin Alston's going to want to also capitalize upon, watching this young man take the ball today? He talked about the fact that he was out there for 50 pitches, whatever comes first. He's going to have a really nice start in a Twins uniform, and the Twins are going to look forward to having him out on the mound.
Last season, Lance with the 10th lowest opponent's batting average, just ahead of Irvin Santana in all of Major League Baseball. So the Twins starting rotation, well, with a decidedly different look, the addition of Lance Lynn and Jake Odorizzi. And here is a look at the five that will get the ball in the starts for the Twins this season. Irvin Santana will miss a few weeks after a surgery on a knuckle.
And that's not a big deal. For Irvin Santana, you'd rather have him taking 2-3 weeks off at the start of the season rather than at the end of the season. That's clearly obvious. But for the Twins to be able to go with the four-man rotation, to run those four guys out with the number of off days that they're going to have in the first month. And you know, we speculate as to how this order is going to go. Is it going to be Jose Barrios? Is he going to get the opener? Is Jake Odorizzi going to get the opener? Maybe Lance Lynn will get the opener. But however they set up their rotation with four guys to start the season with the number of off days that they have, any one of those four guys, if they pitch to their capabilities, are going to give this Twins ball club an opportunity to win the game. That's all you want. It's just a chance to win.
Since 2012, Lance Lynn with a 3.39 ERA, that's 14th lowest in Major League Baseball, just behind Justin Verlander over a long period of time. Lance Lynn, one of 6 additions to the Twins roster this season, 6 important additions, 2 starting pitchers, 3 relievers, and in addition to that, Logan Morrison, who certainly will help in the power department.
And we heard from Derek Falvey and the fact that he gave credit to the Pohlad organization, the Pohlad family, for going ahead and allowing them to have the resources to go out and sign these guys. And that sends a huge, huge message to the rest of the guys on the team. The Joe Maulers, the Brian Doziers, and the Buxtons, and the Jason Castro even, that we're not going to stand pat. We understand that you guys did a really nice job last year, improved by 26 games, got us into the postseason. It was a wild card. It was a one-and-done situation. Now we want to go back deeper. We want to fight the Cleveland Indians for the division championship. So this sends a really strong message that they're trying to do some things to make this organization, this ball club, better, more competitive on the field. You see those names right there. And I think the most amusing thing about Lance Lynn's press conference was he talked about the presence of Logan Morrison. We haven't had much of an opportunity to talk to Logan Morrison yet, but evidently Logan Morrison is a pretty boisterous young man. And so he's going to also be a welcome addition into that Twins clubhouse, along with the fact that he brings 38 home runs from last year. So Lance Lynn, really nice addition. It's going to be very, very curious, Tom, to see how this young man reacts from a National League pitcher to an American League pitcher. It's much more difficult to pitch in the American League than it is in the National League. He's not going to swing the bat anymore. He's very competitive. Maybe that's going to bother him a little bit, but he is going to be facing a DH, and it is different to go from the National League to the American League, so we'll see what kind of adjustment that is for Lance Lynn as he moves forward in the Twins uniform.
You could see today Paul Molitor having a hard time suppressing a smile with Lance Lynn in the rotation, in addition to Jake Odorizzi, 2 key additions for the Twins.
As those of us in baseball would say, the manager just got a little bit smarter with the fact that he can hand the baseball off to these guys and say, go do your thing. And when you see a young man like Jake Odorizzi, a career-winning record in Tampa, with the kind of competitor that he is, and the fact that he's going to throw the ball over the plate, he's going to challenge people. He's absolutely thrilled, has to be thrilled to be in a Twins uniform, to have an opportunity to probably play in postseason. So he wants to find some kind of a way to fit in. It's going to be very curious. Even with Irvin Santana on the sidelines for the better part of this month, he'll probably stay in Florida, continue to get some innings in, some games that are set up against the AAA before they break camp to go to their respective ballparks. But it'll be interesting to see what kind of competition they have between these starters and how they affect one another, because they do. When it was Blyleven and Viola, when it was Radke and Erickson and even Jack Morris in a uniform, those guys were competitive and they wanted to one-up the next guy. So we'll see how that plays out with the current Twins rotation in 2018.
Might this help Jose Barrios in his development? Takes maybe a little bit of pressure off the guy with probably the best stuff among the starters on this team.
And he's also been described, Jose, as one of the hardest workers on the Twins staff. So he might even rub off on some of these guys. But for Jose, he continues to get better. He continues to use all of his pitches. Yes, he's going to learn something from Odorizzi, and he's going to learn something from Lance Lynn. He's been learning from one of the best in Irvin Santana. So when you take a look at how this young man's going to continue to progress as a major leaguer at a very young age, I believe 24 this year, this is going to be something that's going to help him as he continues to move forward in his career, because he has probably the opportunity to be here much longer than maybe some of the other guys. But he's going to learn from Lance Lynn and Jake Odorizzi while they're here, and hopefully those two guys will stay here longer as well. They're also going to rub off on Kyle Gibson a little bit. And we talked yesterday about Kyle having the ability to have a good second half of the season, to get out of his own way a little bit, and to allow his pitches and to allow his skill set to go ahead and get people out.
Twins starters ranked dead last in Major League Baseball in 2016, but last year that number rose to 10th overall with 61 wins. Kyle Gibson, a part of that equation, a strong finish to last season.
And if Kyle continues to have the kind of consistency that he showed at the end of last season, what that means is when the Twins start off with the four-man rotation in April, you take a look at, if you're the Baltimore Orioles or the Pittsburgh Pirates or the Seattle Mariners, and you take a look at who you've got coming up, there are no days off. These guys can pitch, and so you've got to bring your A game, because even your fourth and fifth starter are guys that can compete, guys that'll give their teams an opportunity to win, and that's what you want. An opportunity when your starting pitcher takes the ball to have an opportunity, a chance. Give us a chance to win the game. We'll find a way to score you some runs, and this starting rotation looks pretty good. The front office has done a really nice job of going out and getting some players, as evidenced by today.
Lance Lynn is in the fold. By the way, folks, he was born in 1987. Interesting.
Thanks, Tom.
Twins continue to pile up the talent as they head to the Major League opener.